welcome back to my channel. Today I decided to do this daytime glam look, and believe me, it started off as an everyday makeup tutorial, but it turned into this, and this is just so bold, but I couldn't hold back. I got so excited after the cut crease, like I kept going with it, and I'm not mad at it. I actually love this look. I love the cut crease and the pink lip that goes along with it. I don't know, with this top and this look, it just makes me feel so feminine. And today's look will be featuring the Too Faced Peach palette, so if you have this palette at home, you'll totally be able to do this eye look, so just follow along and let's go ahead and jump into the video. So I did my eyebrows off camera, and I am now going to prime with my Smashbox Photo Finish Primerizer. So it says it's a primer and a moisturizer in one. As you can see, I've used quite a bit of it because I love it. I am a dry skin girl, and I just need a really nice hydrating primer. I feel so like refreshed and just cool, and it's really nice. So for foundation, I am going to mix the new Nars Natural Radiant Longwear Foundation, and I got the shade Deauville, which is light 4, and then I'm going to mix it in with a little bit of my L'Oreal Infallible foundation, and I use the shade, oh, where's the shade? 205 Natural Beige, and I'm going to mix these together. Oh my god. I'm going to mix these two together, so it just gives me the most optimal shade, and then maybe I'll just throw in a little dot of the Giorgio Armani Fluid Sheer Liquid. Alright, so I'm just going to make a little cocktail of hydrating, illuminating juiciness. Get some darker color there. Something like that, you know, I just want to get kind of a good ratio going. And this is literally what I do. I just like very quickly like throw it on, and then I blend it out with my beauty blender. Personally, I am a beauty blender girl. I do sometimes use brushes, especially if the foundation is a cream foundation, or if I want to get like really full coverage immediately and I'm not trying to go in with layers and layers and layers and blending it out with this sponge. So in those cases I do use a foundation brush, but I really like the sponges. I just feel like they give you the most natural, even layer every single time. And it also adds a little bit of moisture while you're blending, because of course the beauty blender, you want to use it while it's damp. So I feel like that really helps my dry skin. And I always like to blend my foundation down my neck, so it's really nice and seamless. Even if it's a perfect match, I don't know why, but I always like to blend my foundation all the way down on my neck. After foundation, of course, I'm going to conceal, and I'm going to be using two Maybelline concealers, and then I have the Fit Me and the Master Conceal, and I'm going to be using them to highlight my under eye and other features of my face, and also to reverse contour. I also feel like putting the concealer in this little area down here will give me more coverage, which I do like. I like some full coverage complexion. And I like to apply the same concealer around my mouth, because I do feel like the coloration around my mouth is a little bit darker than the rest of my face. So now I'm going to use the Master Conceal to highlight my face, and I'm just going to use a very small amount. So I'm going to apply this color higher on my under eye, so it covers the upper part of my under eye and therefore brings more brightness into this area, concentrated here, as opposed to like this whole V shape. And I'm going to apply some of the same Master Concealer on my eyelids, and I'll be using this concealer as my eyeshadow primer, because today I'm just going to be doing my everyday natural eye, but I always do an eyeshadow primer when I'm doing a very dramatic eye, because I do feel like it not only creates a really nice sturdy base for the eyeshadow to adhere to, but it also I feel like makes my eyeshadows a lot more pigmented. For something natural like I'm doing today, I don't feel like I need that, so I'm just going to use the concealer as my eyeshadow primer. And now that I have concealed my face, I'm going to very quickly set it with some Laura Mercier loose setting powder. And I like to start setting my face, going outward and then moving that inward, so that by the time I get to this inner corner area, it'll pretty much just be the excess product. And so I'm not concentrated a ton of powder in this area where most people tend to have quite a few lines like myself. And personally, I don't like to see my crease split and then have those lines show, because there's so much product in this little inner corner area. So it's always best to start the application outward and then move it inward. A lot of times I like to set the areas around my nose where I tend to have the most pores and then smile lines, because I smile a lot. Most of the time, if I don't set my smile lines, my foundation like creases right there. So some powder on those smile lines. See that? Our eye is pretty much already primed and good to go, ready for some eyeshadow. This is how I do my makeup on a daily basis. Most of the time I skip a lot of steps, just like this eyeshadow step. If I'm not doing a dramatic eye, I'm not prepping. I'm just setting with powder and calling it a day, just like that. Because you know, I'm a busy girl. I got things to do. No. Moving right along, I'm going to highlight using my MAC Soft and Gentle Highlight. And I'm going to pick some of that up with my Sigma F35 brush. And we are gonna go for it and pack it on, pack it on, pack it on. And I always tell myself, when you think you have enough highlight, just keep going. Just keep going. So I'm also going to do my chin, Cupid's bow, and I personally like a nice nose highlight. Shine bright like a diamond. So now I am going to bronze my face. I really love to be nice and bronzed and glowy. You see this cute little top I got going on? That's me pretending it's warm outside, when in reality it's like, I don't know, 25 degrees. Love that. I'll be using the Too Faced Dark Chocolate Soleil, and I've hit pan because I use it all the freaking time and I love it. And with the large Sigma F20 powder brush, I'm just going to give it a swirl and then just very violently just go for it, just like that. And that's the thing about bronzing, is that it doesn't have to be as precise as contour. You just have to do it really loosely. So it's all about bringing warmth back into the face after you've flattened it out with just like one shade of color. Bronzing is for warmth, while contouring is for more like dimension and like sculpting. And I actually get that question a lot by clients that walk into the store. They're just like, so what is the difference between bronzing and contouring? And then I just have to explain to them what the difference is. And then they have this second when they're just like, that light bulb just goes on in their head and it just totally makes sense. Because I get it. In the makeup world, there's so many trends, and even for a seasoned or veteran makeup artist, it's a, you know, it's a lot to keep up with. You have to keep up with all these trends. Like the newest one is holographic. And because I am super pale and I live in Washington, we are just gonna give ourselves a little fake tan, you know, just like tan it out, tan it out. Thank you. My vacation was awesome. I totally had so much fun. Like I swam with dolphins. See, if you have enough bronzer, you can give yourself a fake tan. Nobody has to know. This is your secret, our secret. But you can keep it for me. I trust you. Your girl needs to spend some time in the sun. Oh my god. And whatever's left on the brush is what I like to just very loosely bring towards the center of my face, so it balances out, so it's not just dark on the perimeter of your face. Now that I've bronzed, I'm going to very lightly contour using my Wet n Wild contouring palette, and then this is the Dulce de Leche shade. I think they have a lighter one with different shades for more fair skin tone girls. Very lightly contour on top of my bronze. At this point, this is not even like a natural everyday look. I'm gonna call this daytime glam. Daytime glam seems a little more appropriate. Cool, so after we've contoured and bronzed and highlighted, I feel very brown, and I love that though, don't get me wrong, but I still just want to add a little bit of blush on top. And I'll be using the Anastasia blush trio in the shade Pool Party, which is my favorite. I know they have a couple of them. Now that's a pink. I also like to run the blush on the temple as well, so it's more of like a natural flushed effect instead of just like a line going on. For our eye look, I'm going to be using the Too Faced Sweet Peach palette. My absolute favorite color in this palette, it's this one right here. It's kind of like, it looks just like MAC Soft and Gentle, of course, and I like to mix it in with these two, there you go, these two browns as my crease colors, and I just think it's a very glamorous but yet natural daytime glam look. So using a Sigma E40 brush, I'm going to pick up this color. It's called Puree. This is one of the lightest chocolatey browns in this palette, and then I'm going to work it higher on my crease here in circular motions, a little bit down on the eyelid, and then whatever's left on my brush is what I bring inwards into the inner half of the eye. Using a Mikasa E320 brush, I am going to pick up that same Puree color and apply it a little bit lower on my crease here. And I grabbed a different brush because this one's just a little bit more slim and pointy, but it's still a blending brush, and because it has that nice slim shape, it's going to focus that eyeshadow right where I want it to instead of diffusing it, which is what the previous brush did. And with the same color Puree, I'm going to keep blending it right in here. And I like to bring some of that shadow into the V of the eye. So the V of the eye is right in here, so you can just pretend that there is an imaginary V, and that just sits right under your crease. And then a couple of flicks outward, just kind of like flick, 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 to make my eyeshadow a tad bit more pointy instead of just having it be rounded. Using the same Mikasa E320 brush, I'm going to get more Puree and then just apply it on my lower lash line. Now I'm going to take a Mikasa E300 brush, and I'm going to pick up this Summer Yum color. It just has a little bit more of a red undertone as opposed to Puree, which is definitely more caramel. And as you can see, it's just a nice dense brush, so it's really going to pack on that color. So by going from light to darker shades on the eye, we create this wide eye effect, and this is what I like. So starting the application on the outer half of the eye, and then whatever's left on this brush here, we bring to the inner half of the eye of the crease, So now with the Mikasa E310, which is a pencil brush, I'm going to pick up that same color, Summer Gem, and focus that on the outer half of my bottom lash line. So just like right here. I wouldn't really go past the halfway point, which is the pupil of the eye. I like to keep the darker shades on the outer half of the eye. So next I'll be using my Maybelline Master Conceal and my Inglot S11 brush to cut my crease. And just with a small amount, I'm going to start on the center here. And that's going to tell me exactly how high I'm going to need to bring my concealer in order to create that cut crease. So I went ahead and zoomed you in a little bit so you can get a little bit more of the action of this cut crease. And I'm going to go in with just a small amount of concealer and then cut my crease. I'm going to stop that cut crease kind of like right there. And I brought it a little too high up, but that's okay. I'm just going to use a pencil brush and then just pack a little bit more color in this little section right there. Again with that same concealer brush to really intensify and define the outline of this cut crease. So this is where I start to diffuse the concealer. So by that I mean I'm trying to just flick it outward. And I'm just going to use my finger for this. Just to make it nice and soft, and so we have a smooth transition between the V of the eye and then my cut crease. So now that we're done cut creasing, I'm going to go into this color Luscious, which is, it has a huge stand because I absolutely love this color so much, and I'm going to grab some of that using my MAC 252 brush. So I'm going to use my Mikasa E100 brush to get really close to the edge of my cut crease with that same color Luscious. And going back with my Mikasa E300 brush, that nice little dense blending brush, I'm going to go back into Summer Yum, this shade right here, and then bring it back on the V of the eye. To make sure this little area right here is nice and blended, I'm going to use a pencil brush and then just kind of run it through. Just like that, back and forth motions. So it's more seamless and not just like a harsh line. Packing it on the V of the eye and then blending it out. So I didn't dip this brush into any eyeshadow, just whatever's left on the brush is what I'm going to run through. I'm going to use a Mikasa E110 brush, so it's a really nice fine tip, and I'm going to dip it into the color Summer Yum, and then I'm going to apply Summer Yum right on top of the edge of my crease to make it a little bit more intense and defined. So you can see the difference between Luscious and Summer Yum. I kind of want to make it a little bit more smoky, just a tad bit. So I'm going to pick up the color Charmed, I'm sure. It has a little bit of gray, but it's still in the palette, so it'll work. And I'm just going to apply it right at the very lower edge of my eyelid. Just right in there in this V area. And just to balance it out, I'm also going to pick up Charmed, I'm sure, and apply it on the lower half of my eye. So I'm going to intensify the middle of my eye just a little bit with a little bit of MAC Nylon. And I'm going to be using a MAC 252. Using the same Mikasa E110 brush, I'm going to use my black Inglot Gel Eyeliner number 77. So now that we're done with the eyes, I'm going to quickly curl my eyelashes using my Kevyn Aucoin eyelash curler. And now I'm going to apply mascara. I'll be using the Benefit Badgal Bang mascara, which has this really nice defined brush with very teeny little bristles, so you can get every little eyelash, especially in the inner corner, and it's great for bottom lashes too. And now that we're done with mascara, I'm going to apply some really pretty Kiss eyelashes. They're called the Midnight, and I got these at Bartell's, I believe, and they're just these really pretty long eyelashes. And while my eyelash glue dries, I'm going to apply some lips, and today I'll be going in with the Nars lip pigment, and this is my absolute favorite lip pigment that Nars makes. This is American Woman. It's so pretty. I melt. Wow. I definitely overdrew my lips a little bit more than what I'm used to, but it's cute. It's pouty, like, makes me feel like that. Alright, so that does it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, definitely make sure to give it a thumbs up. It would mean a lot to me. Also, if you want to follow along with my tutorials and everyday shenanigans, make sure to subscribe. That does it for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on my next video. Okay, you girls so extra. I'm rubbing up, rubbing. If you're scared, call that river. Hey, give me some. Break it down.